both collectively as a nation, and also as tribes and families and individuals. The point is, none of these groups are going to be overlooked, and none of them are going to be unimportant. They're all going to have a purpose, and God is going to give them purpose. Let's take a look at verse 44. These are the ones who were numbered, whom Moses and Aaron numbered with the leaders of Israel, 12 men, each of whom was of his father's household. So the numbered men of the sons of Israel by their fathers' households from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war in Israel, even all the numbered men were 603,550. And again, we got to remember, this does not include women. It does not include children. Who else does it not include? Levites, right? And people who are unable to go to war.
Elderly,
Right?
disabled.
You know, in Genesis chapter 12 and verse 2, when God told Abraham that he was going to make him a great nation, did he fulfill that promise? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, 2, it says, though Judah became strong among his brothers, and a chief came from him, yet the birthright belonged to Joseph.
Where
Where-
does
what
that
was
say
that?
what?
1 Corinthians 5, chapter 5, verse 2.
Verse 2.
1 Corinthians 5 verse 2.
Yeah, you can read from 1 to that.
Okay.
Is it?
1 Corinthians 5:2,
Yeah.
it says, "Or you are puffed up and have not rather mourned, that he
Oh, I'm sorry,
Second.
Chronicles.
Oh.
Chronicles. Okay.
Oh, well, hold
I'm
on.
like,
Chronicles.
Okay, so that's.
All right. So we even said that. I was like, I know.
I know, I was like,
That-
wait a minute.
Am I having a moment that I don't remember reading about Joseph
I know you
from
heard me
Corinthians.
But it's First Chronicles.
Okay.
Okay, 5:2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where it says,
So-
Pharaoh will dwell among them, does that mean he was dwelling among those that went outside the camp?
No. No. God is going to dwell among His camp.
Will they just put them out to starve?
What's that?
Will they just put them out to starve?
Now I don't know what you're talking about.
The ones that were unable to
To
participate?
go out to war.
No.
No.
Or
Of course
have
not.
an issue with their body,
No. Of course not.
so
They just like with the women and children.
they considered them, some of them unclean.
What? Yeah.
That's,
I don't.
that's sentence, paragraph 5:3.
What's that?
Send away male and female alike. Send them outside the camp so they will not defile their camp where I dwell among them. They sent them outside the camp.
Yes, there was a place outside the camp for lepers. No, they would not send them out there to die. They just couldn't be among the people. You know, we talked about all this concerning how lepers and those that have malignant sores and you know how they are to be dealt with. And we talked about the subject of holiness. Of course, it was going to be concerning holiness, but also for the protection of the people as well, so that these things wouldn't spread. And of course, you know, some people were indeed healed. If they were healed, they would come back into the camp to be inspected. Actually, the priest would go out to inspect them and to see whether or not they were clean, and then they were reintroduced back into the camp. But no, they weren't left out to die. They just couldn't live inside the population of the camp. But taking a look at these verses here, you know what does the immediate obedience of Moses and Aaron teach us about how we should respond to God's commands?
Well, it's the utmost importance. It must be expedited
Okay.
at the top,
Yes.
without hesitation.
Right.
They didn't question, they just did
Yeah,
what
they
the
just
Lord
did
said.
it.
Here it is, and they did exactly what the Lord said.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, do you think that there could be application for us today? You know, even to God, as God's people, you know, if God gives us a directive, a command to do, you know, we ought to do it without delay.
Right. What was the one where he said, go out to the field and work, and the one son said, sure, and he didn't. And then the other son said, no, I won't, but he did.
But he did.
Yeah, that's in.
Yeah. All right. So why do you think that God had each tribe counted individually instead of giving just one big total number? You know, we take a look at this total number. But why do you think that they were counted individually?
Well, you can't handle the whole number, but you can take care of everybody individually, but you can't handle everything as a whole.
Okay.
Organizationally. That's why they had different places to camp,
Right.
and it also would determine how much land they would need when they got in the new country.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts? Any other reasons?
Well, I think that so that each tribe knew how many men they had, and then maybe if there was losses, then they would know, okay, the tribe of Reuben lost this many men, the tribe of Judah lost this many men, and so on and so forth. Maybe, maybe not, but I think that each tribe needed to know exactly what role each person had, and who was to fulfill that role.
Yes. I think both of these points.
Another point,
Go ahead.
they had to know what their strength was. Those that
They-
were ill, they were not strength, they were weaknesses.
Yes.
They had
Each-
to know the difference.
Right.
Each group knew their size. Each group knew their role. Each group knew their strength. And each group had a responsibility. And of course that responsibility is tied to what? Their family.
They had to take care
They're-
of
they're-
their own.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Eric.
I think you need to be taking better care of your own. I think I have a pimple.
Yeah, we'll deal with that later.
Go out to,
Go
yeah.
ahead, Eric.
In verse 17, it says that they recited their ancestry, so it was important for them to know where they came from, and because in order to know where they're going, they have to know where they came from.
Yeah, there you go. Very good.
They needed the genealogical records too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What does the ancestry have to do with anything when you go to war?
Well, they need to know who to contact.
It's about organization. You know, this is any military outfit needs organization, right? Any military outfit is, I guess, depending on what branch you're in, you know, is divided into battalions and companies and platoons and
So this is
squads.
all about who to return the body to,
It could,
not like
Or-
what importance you have and.
or by roles. You know, when I don't know how, you know, I'm not an expert in ancient warfare,
Right.
but you know, just like in modern warfare, we're going to send, you know, company A to go and do this task, company B to go and do that task, company C to go and do that task. But the Israelites were not divided by companies and platoons and squads. They were divided by families. This is the way that God set things up. Why did God do it that way? We could speculate, but it comes down to this. You know, that this is the way that God commanded that the nation of Israel be divided up, and it was up to Moses and Aaron and the heads of these tribes to do so in accordance with the way that God said.
I think you have to do, you got the Marine, the Air Force.
Yeah.
You know, each one of them got, the Marines is on the water, the Air Force is in the air, the Army on the ground, so that's why he did it that way, because each one of them had different things to do, just like the modern.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. It could be a situation where they're in battle. Okay, Gad, I want you to, attack from the left flank. Judah, go from the front. It's just God's way of dividing the nation. However, God sees them not only as individual tribes, but also as a nation. Meanwhile,
God's family unit also needs organization.
that's right. Yeah. So, taking a look at this census, and I touched on this a little bit. How does this demonstrate God's faithfulness to His promises that He had given to Abraham in Genesis chapter 12?
Fulfillment.
Yeah, he's still with them, he's preparing them, he's getting them ready. I mean, he hasn't left their side for a moment. He's given them instruction, guidance, love, care, you
And
name it.
He has made them a great nation.
Right, he's fed them,
And here's the
watered
thing:
them.
He's not done.
No, he's not done. This
He's
is
not
just
done.
the beginning, they haven't even entered the land yet.
Yeah. Okay, so we also see that the task of doing this census was not only given to Moses and Aaron, but also to the heads of families. What can we learn from the fact that Moses was not expected to do this work alone?
Well, God wouldn't put all the burden on one person. He wouldn't do that to one human being, he understands. It takes a village to raise a child, kind of thing, so.
It actually takes a family to raise a child.
I mean, it just, yeah.
But again, the idea here is that this task is.
It's enormous. He wouldn't have been able to, humanly speaking, he would not have been able to do that by himself.
Yeah. Katie?
Just that we're not made to do everything by ourselves.
Correct.
I mean, whether we're in a family, or we're alone, or we're talking about a friend, or an acquaintance, whatever. Some people are overloaded, and if you're offered assistance, accept it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this the first time that Moses was charged to delegate?
Nope.
No,
Okay,
Jeff
all right.
got 70 people to help him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And why? Because Moses was spending all of his time judging, taking care of legal and civil matters, taking up all of his time, is wearing him out.
Yeah.
And his father-in-law said, this thing that you're doing is not good. And of course he listened. I'm sorry, Janice, go ahead.
I think that, speaking of, Jethro, whatever you wanna call him, not whatever you wanna call him, but those are his names.
That's correct.
But, I think that this could be born from that lesson that Moses learned. He started naming the people, in hundreds and tens and all this to help. And then, the Lord says, take these chiefs, and then, the chiefs are supposed to be, dividing their people, because one chief can't do 74,000 people, so he had to put people up under him.
Mhm. Yeah. Just like in modern military organizations. Okay, so let's get into this next part. Concerning the Levites, we haven't talked about the Levites yet. The Levites however, were not numbered among them by their father's tribe. For the Lord had spoken to Moses, saying, only the tribe of Levi you shall not number, nor shall you take their census among the sons of Israel. So So the Levites here are excluded from military service. Why, do you think?
Tabernacle,
They have to take care of the,
they have to take care of it.
They have a different role, don't they? They have a different role.
Yeah, they're priests and they have to minister and they have to take care of all of the furnishings and everything with the tabernacle.
The point is, God assigns different roles to different people, but not everybody serves in the same way.
But they all serve.
They all have something to do. They all have something to do. Okay, so we have Israel. Israel's counted for war, but of course the Levites are set apart. Verse 50. But you shall appoint Levites over the tabernacle of the testimony, and over all its furnishings, and over all that belongs to it. They shall carry the tabernacle and all its furnishings, and they shall take care of it. They shall also camp around the tabernacle. They shall camp around the tabernacle. And we're going to talk about this certainly as we get into the next chapter. But what are the Levites given charge of?
the tabernacle,
The tabernacle, just the tabernacle?
knowing everything that belongs to it.
Carrying it, the furnishing, all of it.
Yes.
Everything
And
else.
not only that, for taking care of it, for maintaining it.
And they have to camp around it.
Even carrying it.
Yes, and they are responsible for camping around it. Why camping around
Because
it?
no one else can get close to it, only they can.
You think that this carries the idea as we move in from Leviticus into Numbers, the continuation of this idea of holiness?
Yes, total holiness.
Yeah.
What,
Meemaw?
what it means to me, too, from the beginning of the organization of the whole Israelite nation, is God's worship is just as important as his fighting force. I mean, and today we try to separate religion totally from any government.
That's why we did.
God's presence,
Yeah,
his worship,
yeah.
is central.
But from the very
To the-
beginning, it was a central part of the organization.
That's right.
And today, what is it? Blah.
Good description.
It kind of reminded me of the story in the Star Spangled Banner, because as long as they saw that flag flying, they got hope. So as long as that tabernacle stands, they all have hope. It kind of keeps the troops motivated, knowing that that's there.
Right. Just the American flag, right? It is, or at least it should be. It seems like we're moving away from that, in modern times. But the American flag is kind of like our symbol. It doesn't matter, what background you have, what your politics are. We all ought to be able to rally around the symbol of the American flag as Americans. It was different for the Israelites. The tabernacle, God's worship, God's presence, that is the central item. That is the central thing in which the Israelites rally around. And again, it is central to the lives of the Israelites. I'm sorry, Janice, go ahead.
And just because the Levites did not go to war, it doesn't mean that they weren't able-bodied men to fight, because they had to guard of the tabernacle. So he's not gonna have just some weakling trying to guard and they don't have the skills. That's
Yes.
my thought.
But still, even then, the Levites weren't counted.
No, they weren't
It's-
counted.
but they were charged of keeping people who should not be near the tabernacle away.
Right.
However it is that they carry it out.
Yeah,
We don't.
well,
I think it implies,
Yeah.
right,
harsh penalties
whatever.
They
it
can
took,
for coming near
defend and not
if
go
you're
to war.
if you're not allowed.
Whatever it took, yeah.
All right,
they
so-
have some kind of
Yeah,
skill.
exactly. Yeah, they would have to.
So let's take a look at the serious responsibility that they had. So when the tabernacle is set out, the Levites shall take it down. And when the tabernacle encamps, the Levites shall set it up. But the layman who comes near shall be
Put to
put
death.
to death. Layman who comes here shall be put to death. And so the Levites, they not only had charge of the tabernacle, they had to carry it, they had to maintain it. What did they also have to do? They had to set it up and they had to take it down, right? Set up, take it down. Break, when it comes to the tabernacle, break camp.
And I'm sure
Break
that
camp.
was not an easy thing. I mean, that was a lot to do.
Yeah. But there was a lot of people.
Right, yeah.
There was a lot of people. I mean, if their size was anything like the size of the other tribes, you know, we're talking tens of thousands of men who are 20 years and above, who are able to do these things. First Eric and then Katie.
We have an example of the Levites fighting, at least in the sense of they killed the Israelites who worshipped the golden calf.
Yes.
They were armed with swords and they killed 3,000 of their
Yes.
own brethren.
They were the only ones that stood, that sided with God. Everyone else, yeah, you're right.
So they definitely were able.
In Deuteronomy.
They were able, yeah.
And willing.
And they were serious. This is, I can't underscore this enough. The charge, the responsibility that is given to the people. You think charge is given to the fighting men, you know, that's serious business. And it is serious. But don't think for a moment just because the Israelites, they don't have to go out to war, that you know, God's kind of given them a pass
Right.
on their task. They have a different thing to do, just as serious.
They had a very good chance of dying as well by doing the wrong thing in the sight of the Lord. They came to the tabernacle as the men
Yeah.
who were going out to war, you know, so, yeah, you're right. It's not, they weren't let off easy.
Yeah, but the important is, you know, God's holiness is not casual. You know, his worship, his tabernacle is not a casual thing. Go ahead, Katie.
Talking about the tribal Levi not being counted, I was curious, so I Googled it, and they were counted.
Yeah,
It's like
Well,
in the numbers.
They weren't counted for war.
yeah,
No, they weren't counted for war. It says for all
for
males,
redemption,
1 month old and above
Yeah.
were counted.
yeah, that's
And
later on.
it was saying 22,000, I think is what was counted.
Yeah, yeah. Again, you know, we're in tens of thousands.
So
It's a. Go ahead.
they have from a month old and upward listed, but then there's a census from 30 to 50 that will work
In the tabernacle, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
in the
And
tabernacle.
we're gonna get to that.
Another
Bimal.
point, you know, we mentioned that Judah was the point as far as leadership. They're having the most fighters. Right behind them, between them and the tabernacle was Moses and Aaron and the sons of Aaron. So it seems to me that God placed those taking care of the tabernacle right up front with Moses.
We're gonna get to that when we get to the
Right
next chapter.
behind
This is chapter 2 stuff.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I went too far.
Yeah, you went too far. But we're gonna get to that. The sons of Israel shall camp, each man by his own camp, each man by his own standard, according to their armies. What's a standard?
Flag, banner.
Yeah, it's like a flag, it's like a banner,
Mhm.
right?
Family crest.
Yeah. I remember we're basic, our banner, our standard for our platoon, Bigfoot platoon. And every time we had all these different challenges that we had to do, and our company, of course, is divided into 4 different platoons, and whatever challenge, whatever platoon won that challenge, we would get like a ribbon or something attached to our standard, and we became really proud of it. looking at all the other platoons that didn't have all their little awards attached to it, and ours was just flowing. You couldn't even see Bigfoot platoon anymore. We had so many on ours. We were proud of it, but I tell you, wherever that flag went, wherever that standard went, that's where you're going to find Bigfoot platoon. And it's think of it like this: this flag, this standard identified where the different tribes were going to be. Where the different tribes are going to be. Each man by his standard according to their armies, but the Levites shall camp around the tabernacle of the testimony. All right, so the tribes, they had their standard. What was the standard of the Levites?
The tabernacle.
The tabernacle itself. That was the rallying point for the Levites.
So I had a question about that.
Yeah.
So, I was trying to visualize it in my head. So you had the tabernacle, and then you had the Levites immediately around, and then you have the rest of the Israel around the Levites? Is that how they,
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the middle.
right, you know what I'm saying? So you had the tabernacle and the Levites, and then the rest of the tribes around? Yeah.
But there again, it's chapter 2, it's
Yeah.
cardinal directions.
I was just trying to get a visual in my head. Perfect.
Yes,
That's exactly how I
and
was
this
thinking. Okay.
is the reason why I wanted to put this up there so we had a visual.
Good. Perfect.
Right? But again, this is going to be chapter 2 stuff. We'll talk about that as we get into it.
Thank you.
Ooh, we're running out of time. Let's wrap up. Because I said we were going to get done with one. But the Levites shall camp around the tabernacle of testimony so that there will be no wrath on the congregation of the sons of Israel. So the Levites shall keep charge of the tabernacle of the testimony. And thus the sons of Israel did according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So they did. And when we talked about this, why do you think it is that God excluded the Levites from the military census? What was their job? What's that? What about the tabernacle? All things, right?
All day.
All things. Carrying it, picking up, taking care of it, maintaining it. Whenever they were to move, they had to break it down. Whenever they were to camp, they were to set it up. This is the job of the Levites. What warning about outsiders approaching the tabernacle? What does this teach us about God's holiness?
That is holy. It's not to be treated as common, not just anyone.
It's not to be treated as profane.
Correct.
That's right. As a profane thing. Because what is the penalty?
Yeah.
It is death. All right, why was it important for the Levites to camp around the tabernacle?
Keep outsiders away
That's right. That's right.
from death.
All right, so verse 54. Verse 54, again looking at this. Thus the sons of Israel did according to all which the Lord had commanded Moses, so they did. All right, so this verse, of course, emphasizes obedience. What does that look like in our lives today?
That was like blah.
Okay, let's look at this again. Thus the sons of Israel did according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses, so they did.
Just as.
Just as.
Yeah.
It's almost like it was repeated. The Israelites did the things that the Lord had commanded them to do, so they did the things. Obviously, right? What does that teach us about God's commandments today? What he expects out of his people today? Does he expect any different?
No.
Right. All that the Lord has commanded his people to do. So we do.
That means they're not open to interpretation.
Right. Right. Yes, that's a good point too. In accordance with God's directions, in accordance with God's terms. We want to keep God's directives and God's terms as long as it's convenient for us at the moment. No. We are to do as God has commanded, so we do.
I was going to say, just like we tell our children, because I said so. That's
Right.
why.
But of course, we're looking at big picture things. We can see why God said so.
Exactly.
This is not just just so, not to give the Israelites some sort of nebulous commands. They don't know what they're doing. We're able to see the big picture of things. This is for their good,
To save their lives.
to save their lives, to preserve them while they're out in the
Not just
wilderness.
their lives, but their families' lives, their
Exactly,
future.
exactly.
Yes.
All right, well, that wrapped up chapter 1. Lord willing, next week we'll get into chapter 2. We're going to talk about, some more concerning the tribes of Israel and how they are to be camped, how they are to move about, and we're going to talk about some reasons why God would set things up in a way that He did.
Not many people today know or realize that our government will not allow religious chaplains to teach Christ or to teach the gospel
Yeah,
because they
It's-
call that proselyting.
yeah, they're not allowed to do
And
that.
they won't let that happen.
That's unfortunate.
That needs to be changed.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like yelling at the ocean when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's terrible.
Yeah. Hey, how are you today?